Welcome to another episode of What the Paranormal with Miss Hyde. In today's mini episode, because it's going to be short and sweet, the office ghost is at it again, and today was like no other day. Mr. Office Ghost decided to start playing with the desk drawers. Now, out of the corner of my eye, from where I sit, I noticed the drawer opening a bit. I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, it just started to open completely. I was like, what the fuck? But anyways, so it kept opening and I kept closing. I'd get up and close it and then it would open again. Now, I've gotten a lot of people are all like, oh yeah, the floor is uneven, it's slanted, it's on a slope. Nope. I literally tried to roll a bottle of water. It didn't go anywhere. The ground is even across the board. The desk isn't lopsided. It's perfectly straight and even. So the office ghost made its appearance. So, say around maybe 1 or 2, one of the doors in the office decided to click and open. Now, when I say the door decided to click and open, it's as if somebody from inside the shop decided to turn the handle and open the door. Now, is this possible? Yeah, if you're walking inside the shop. Is it doable? If the ghost had a lot of energy, yes. But where is it absorbing the energy? If there's no, power to the shop, everything's actually turned off because we had no welders today. So that was that, and then a new one was the office ghost decided to play with the bathroom doors. You'd hear it open and close, and it was pretty loud as a slam, which didn't bother me in any way, shape, or form. It's just it likes attention. And it was I want to say 2:00 when I started hearing knocking at the back door. Now, there's nobody on the property. So the office ghost is notorious for showing up when you least expect it. Now, I've been at this job for 2 years now, and I've noticed the knocking. I've noticed, little things that you would normally say the building is settling. Well, it wasn't until maybe a year or so when things started to get a little crazy. Now, when I say crazy, I mean doors would click open. You could hear, and it's weird. We have a fence that when you open it, it squeaks. So where I sit, I can see the fence, right? And it would sound as if somebody had just opened the fence and was coming in, and then you hear the door click. Now, I turn around and I look to see who's coming, and nobody opened the fence. Nobody's at the door, but you can hear the click and you can see the door open. When that first happened, I immediately went, what the fuck? And I was like, okay, breathe. You have a visitor. okay. So I said to this visitor, well, if you're going to start bugging me by opening and closing the doors, might as well come in and make yourself at home. Don't bother me, don't touch me, don't speak to me, don't do anything because I'm working. And the door opened and it stayed open. And then after a while, I hear the door creak and I see it starting to close. And it's closing. It's a heavy door. It's one of those metal heavy doors, the old type of doors. And it's not that easy to close. You know, we have the air on. So, you know, it takes a lot for it to close. And it started to close. And then it just clicked. And the door was closed. I was like, okay. And then that was one incident. The second incident, the door to the roll-up door to the shop has a tendency to bang, as if somebody is banging on it to get in or get out. And it's weird because the first time I heard it, I was like, what the fuck? Because there was one other person in the shop working, but he was in the back cutting sheet metal. So the roll-up was closed. And if he needed to get into the shop, he would use the side door to let him in, so he can get in. So there was really no need to open the roll-up. And I was sitting down, and he comes literally flying into the office, and he's all like, what happened? And I'm like, what? He's all like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. What happened? He's all like, I heard like something, you know, crashed into the roll-up. I thought the roll-up door fell and it, you know, you got hurt. I go, no. So you go and look at the roll-up. It's locked. I mean, our locks are on it. And yep, we were standing there talking, and then you hear the pat, pat, pat. And we both look at each other, and then we look at the roll-up, and then we look at each other, and then we go around out to the front, and there was nobody. We're all like, okay, quite interesting. And then I noticed that when you walk by the tool room, going to the back of the shop, the tool room's walls start to vibrate, and it's interesting because it never did that before, and it just started doing that. So it literally feels like somebody who weighs a shitload is walking by, and it's walking very heavy on the concrete to causing it to vibrate, because you'll hear it. And then another instance, the office ghost. It was my boss and myself. I was writing checks to cut, and my boss was talking to me, and all of a sudden you hear all this scratching on the wall. Now, it is a metal building, and there is no insulation per se between the office and the outside, or the sheet metal. So when it gets hot, it gets freaking hot in there, and when it gets cold, it gets fucking cold. So we heard scratching, and we looked at each other, and we're like, wait a minute. He's all, there is no insulation, there's nothing there. It's, you know, it's just the wall and then the sheet metal. And he's very adamant because of maintaining it clean. No rats, no mice, nothing like that. No skunks, no raccoons, because then they'll chew through the welding cables, and those are expensive. So he tries to, keep it clean. And it sounded like it was scratching the sheet metal. So we both go outside, and there's nothing. He gets up on the drop ceiling, and he tried to look on the other side of the wall, and he couldn't because it was so close to the sheet metal. There wasn't enough room to even look down. And he comes into the office and he tells me there's nothing. And he's talking, you hear the scratching on the wall. And I go, well, that tells us something different. And he's all like, does this happen a lot? And I go, yep. Aren't you scared? I go, nope. Because I'm used to it. Like I said, I grew up in haunted locations. This is what I do. But this office ghost is hilarious because it will do things like spur of the moment. Like, it turns the copier on and off. Our copier has a sleep mode. But when it turns off, or when you turn it off, you have to click it. You have to hit the button and it clicks. Every so often, maybe 3 times a week, I hear the click and the copier turns off. So I have to get up, hit the button, and the copier will turn on again. And then it takes forever to do its process, and I get mad and I tell the office ghost, all right, dude, you need to stop. Like, seriously, you need to freaking stop messing with my equipment. I mean, it seems like a playful spirit, ghost, whatever you want to call it. I never felt, any ominous, any dark, anything evil. It's a playful energy. But it has a habit of doing things or showing itself when I am the busiest. But, today he was back opening the drawers, opening doors, knocking on the doors. It sounded like somebody was walking on the gravel where we keep all our steel. It sounded like somebody was walking through there. So, yeah. Office Ghost is so fun. He's my new homie. He keeps me entertained, to be honest. Well, it's a short story, I think. But that's the Office Ghost. Today's encounters and the experiences I had with him or her or it. I don't know. But I say to him. And if you have any ghost stories, feel like sharing, click on or email to whattheparanormal77@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my podcast. Follow us on Twitter, Insta, and Facebook. Still collecting stories for a listener episode. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. So, with this coronavirus epidemic that we have going on, you have many celebrities, you have actors coming in and joining the podcast community, and you want to jump into it. Well, if you haven't heard, there's a program that you can use called Anchor, now, which is the easiest way to create a podcast. It's free. Um, there's a whole bunch of creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast from your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your computer. Um, it'll even distribute them for you. So it'll be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and
many other podcast platforms. You can make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like I said, we have a lot of celebrities, we have a lot of actors, actresses joining the podcast community. So they'll be making money because of their followers. Well, you can do it too. You don't, I mean, you could have 2 followers and still be making money. So it's an easy way to join the podcast community because this program lets you um, make money with no minimum listenership. And it has everything you need from a podcast program all rolled into one. So if you want to join the community, don't forget to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started. Join us independent podcasters along with the celebrities and the actors and the actresses who are on the podcast community. So don't forget, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.